maybe you could talk a little bit more about Prop 13, I guess.
Get closer to the mic so we can hear
what the school bond actually is, like what the actual function of it is. What was the kind of goal? Because I'm interested personally in how that, comes to fruition.
Well, absolutely. And let's talk about, first of all, 50% of all our taxes go to the schools. The problem is, though, that 50% of the taxes, 90% of it goes to pay for pensions. And so that leaves about 10%. And by the bottom line is you're usually looking at about 2% that's actually going back to the schools. And people don't realize that. And we have a $1.5 trillion unfunded liability right now, which is going to take the state down as well. So when it comes to the school bonds, what they do, and it's funny because I had someone ask me, and they're like going, well, you know what, we need, roof repairs. We need, we've got leaks, we've got things like that. And the problem is, though, this money usually doesn't go to where it's supposed to go. And if you look at the last school bond, I'll guarantee you the repairs that were supposed to be made probably still haven't been made. So the money just isn't going where it's supposed to go. And you talk about transparency. All we're asking is, if you're going to take this money, show me the projects. And that always comes back to me as well when they have local legislation or local bonds on school. All we want to know is, and just like I'm responsible on council, if I'm going to put a budget, I have to tell you where the money's going. And so I want to see what's the project, when's the start date, when's the completion date, how much does it cost, and also let's see how many bids you got, because you have to now go with unions instead of going on independent contractors.
Yeah. I mean, I work in construction a little bit with energy, and for us, I think coming from the actual bid side, it's hard for us to, one, compete with union
That's
labor,
right.
but not even that, because everybody has to use union labor. So it's not, we have a prevailing wage that everybody sticks to. So the main issue, I think, on the bid side would be how at a state assembly level are you going to drive kind of the transparency, right? Because if an RFP goes out, a request for proposal, or is there something you have in mind that would give that transparency to somebody, like a website that they could go on and look at all the bids? Or
Well, absolutely. And the funny thing is, if you follow, if people look at the way that we legislate locally, which is smart, and just carry that up there, but they don't want to have that, they don't want to have the transparency. But I think it's the same thing. If this is where the money's going to, I want to see the projects on the table. I want to have a start date, a completion date. How much are we paying? And again, let's talk about the school bond. It's a 30-year school bond. So if you're in kindergarten, you're going to be paying for this until you're 30 years old. And I'll guarantee it that these projects still won't be done, that we'll have another school bond and another school bond. So unfortunately, things just don't get done.